Hello everyone, welcome back. In the last video, we've learned how to ask for the player's input. In this case, he wanted to buy one system 6, one system 7, 0 system 8, and 2 system 9, and so on. Once we've known this, how do we generate his numbers? To do that, we will be making use of a similar concept used for the Toto generator. Now, for this 03 generate player sets, if you have not downloaded this file yet, please download it from your resource tab. So let's start with one set of ordinary bet first, 6 numbers. Now, since this is similar to what we have done for our Toto generator, let's copy the whole code from there. Ctrl C, Ctrl V for paste. Now, instead of Toto, let's rename this to become my number. Change everything from Toto to my number. Now, because we are only using for ordinary bet 6 numbers, so I must be less than 6. And because we are using random here, we need to import random as well. Now let's test this code. Click run. 2, 44, 38, 29, 25, 41. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 numbers. If you run this code again, 49, 43, 19, 44, 21, 27. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 numbers again. Okay, this one works. Now that we have learned how to create with one set of ordinary bet, can we do for 2 sets? To do this, what we'll do is that we'll copy everything here. Now, we will be putting my number into another list. So for that, we will create another list here. Okay, my list is equal to square bracket. Now we need to repeat all these things, my number, this whole block here, for 2 times, because we are creating 2 sets. So what we will be doing is that for j in range 2, we'll be doing everything here 2 times. And my number, we will append it to my list. At the end of the day, let's do a print of my list. So this is what we've been doing in the previous section here. We'll be running it 2 times. And then the output of the number here, we append it to my list. So this is the final list showing that how many sets of numbers does the player buy. Now, if you run this code, you see that this is the first set and this is the second set. And this first set here is nested inside this list here. And this second list is nested inside this list here. So to make things more clearer, if we are even saying that print one set, and we're doing a all sets. If we are to run the code, you see that the first one set is 37, 35, 4, 20, 33, and 31, which is here. And the second set for one set, 47, 2, 15, 18, 1, 17, is here as well. Now, we know how to start with one set. We also know how to do it for assuming if there is 2 sets. But we will never know How many sets does a player wants to buy? No. So, how do we scale it to X sets of ordinary bet? We cannot do hard code for things like this, so what can we do? Let's copy everything here. The only thing that we hard-coded for two sets is this variable here, for j in range 2. We know that we have output the number of quantity to buy as number of sets 6. So we will use this as an input to our range here. If we are to run this code, you see that we bought 3 sets, and the final list here consists of 3 sets as well. Now, if the player decides to buy instead of 3, he wants to buy 5. When you run this code, you see that there are 5 sets bought. First, second, third, fourth, and fifth. 5 sets. So this code is scalable. How do we generate the same thing for system 7? Let's copy all the codes here from the import. We know that number of sets 7 is the variable here. So we will use this to replace here. And we also know that system 7 has 7 numbers. So we also need to change this as well. 2 places to change. First is the range, how many sets that the player wants to buy. And the second one is here, which determines the length of the numbers. Now, if you run the code here, one set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 numbers. For the second set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 numbers. So he is buying 2 sets. If we change this to 3 and we run, so there are 3 sets, each with 7 numbers. So the final list is 1, 2, 3 sets of numbers. Now we've known how to generate X sets of system 7. How do we scale it to any numbers of bets? To do that, let's use a function. Let's define a function first. Let's define a function, generate player numbers. Since this is working, we'll copy everything here. My list, an empty list, we'll put it outside of this definition. Now, as you remember, this is a variable that can change, and this is a variable that can change. So what is this? This is referring to your quantity to buy. And this is referring to your length of your set. These two will be your input for your function. Let's bring this print all sets out of the code, out of this function here. We have already defined our function here. Now, let's call it out. call for these functions, what you need is how many quantity to buy, which is already defined here. Number of sets, 6. Because number of sets 6 was generated from the user codes earlier on. Now, number of sets 6 is created when the player plays. Now, for simplicity's sake, we will assign number of sets 6 to become 3. In this case, 6 refers to the set length because there are 6 numbers for quick pick system 6 for quick pick ordinary. Let's run this code to see. At the very beginning, there's no numbers here. And then when we run this code, because there are 3 sets of system 6, 3 sets of ordinary bet, so we have 3 sets here. Now let's repeat this for system 7. Number of sets 7 refers to how many sets they are buying, and 7 here refers to the length of the numbers. If we run this code here, you will see that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 numbers. And we'll repeat this for the remaining sets. Now that we have called the functions for the remaining sets, let's run this code. As you can see, each codes are different. This one is for the system 6 ordinary. This is for system 7 and this is for system 8. Now if we take for this for an example, you see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 digits. 12 numbers for this system 12. So this code is working. So now let's move this back into our main codes. First, my list is equal to empty list. We'll copy this. We will be putting it under the initialization. Next, the definitions. We will be putting it under this definition here. Now, we will not be using any print statement here, so we can comment it out. Control// to comment it out. Next, we need to call the functions, so we copy everything here and put it below this ask the player. Now, when we run this code, press enter to begin. Let's say I want 3, system 6, 0 for 7, 0 for 8, 1 for 9, 0 for 10, 1 for 11, and 0 for 12. The output is stored inside this my list. If we do a print my list, you see that this is the system 6 that you bought. This is your system 9 and this is your system 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 numbers. In this video, you have learned how to generate the player numbers. Depending on how many sets that they have bought, you create the numbers accordingly. In the next video, we will learn to calculate how much does the player has incurred in buying all these bets. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.